are out and your Chromebooks are closed. Eyes are up here, please. Eyeballs? Right here.
I like attention.
You're like, we know. All right, here's what I need. 1, you're going to go to Google Classroom when I tell you to go. Not yet. Do not touch those Chromebooks yet. When I tell you to go, you will go to Google Classroom. You will open it up, and the very first thing you see is this awesome document. It's dated today's date with the bell ringer. If you would, please tell me how you are. Sweet, simple, to the point, nice long paragraph. What's going on in your life? Let me know. Number 1, what I'm asking you to do is to solve an compound inequality. Why? Because this is the number 1 most missed question on our Unit 1 exam. The number 1, aka our problem? Michael said it's a problem, but Michael, it's our what? It's our learning gap right here. So this is our learning gap. This is where we still have a problem and we still struggle. So what I'm asking you to do is to use your notebooks, look at the compound inequalities that we did, solve this one, and then in 2 to 3 sentences tell me how to graph it. So am I asking you to graph it, Gavin? No? This is down. I'm asking you to tell me how to graph it. How do you graph it? Okay? So in other words, you should be talking about the circles. Bless you. You should be talking about the circles. You should be talking about the shading. Any questions on number 1? Okay? Number 2 is what we talked about yesterday. With our essential question of focus yesterday, how do I represent relations as ordered pairs, tables, graphs, and mappings and identify their domains and range? I'm asking you in number 2 to take those ordered pairs and to tell me the domain and to tell me the range. Okay? You have your notebooks, you have examples, use them. Okay? Any questions on what I'm asking you to do? Bring your Chromebooks up, go into Google Classroom, open up the first doc that you do see, the first assignment, answering the how are you, and 1 and 2, please. Good? Not great? I'll take good then. I want it great. Yay! I got a grade right here. Oh, do you have lunch next? See? In there are yes. Did they get back?
No, I have.
Nice. And there's our violation. Very good writing. Yep. Got it. Maybe next time. Now, Unit 3. We got 8 units. All right, guys, focus.
I'm not going to be able to give a sharp.
I got you. Okay. Did you tell Mr. I'll let him know. I'll let him know that you. Okay. I'll
But I'll be there every other day.
Perfect. I'll let him know. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. What's going on? But you were there. A whole unit, maybe next unit. Hopefully. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. I got you.
All that prep.
What? I don't think I've ever put. I don't think so either. There will be.
Yes, there will. Oh, goodness.
See, I figured you would be good.
It would have been great. It would have said 20.
No, you put me back.
No, but I got
I've been dealing with this stuff for like 4 years. I'm good.
I'm like, oh, thanks for asking.
Stay focused, please.
Oh, I love these. Okay. Because there's a can.
I got shut down.
I'll take great. I like great.
Chris, I don't have to drive out to my house. I can't even spell
When
it.
we first started doing it, though, I just felt, okay, that's all in, but.
I don't drive. I drove one time, I almost got rid of it. No man. I drove one time, I almost got rid of it. Okay, I was like, this is the stop, right? This is the gas station. So I stopped right there, it's like turning.
Hey, yeah, focus. Yeah, I already got you.
Just say you want to go
First time I drove.
Like, I legit was just at the counselor. She's gonna think about that. Like, I'm sorry. I hate this counselor.
It's so dumb, but it's so funny.
No, you don't.
What'd you say, Nikki? What? Why do you like Gotta get it.
Wait.
Wait, what? You actually put it in? Yeah, like one strand.
You can't just have a zero on one.
That I wouldn't.
There's no variable.
Give me some recording. Wild.
You didn't
That
just say you were like, yes, look at right here. There you go.
wild.
It's 5. So it would be good.
That was me basically.
I know.
I have, no, I've been suspended. Like, I've been exposed. Have you not that high? How are you not? I've been suspended twice. Within like a month.
She's a really
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I have some people rocking number 2, and I have some people looking at number 1, really confused.
I'd rather do English.
Oh, trust me, I'll be.
You're like, I got number 2. Okay, here we go. Number 1. Do I have a volunteer that says, hey, I absolutely know how to do number 1?
Not me.
And let's say, as I walked around, I saw nobody get all of number 1 correct. But I did see number 2. And everybody's like, yeah, I got number 2. Because it's awesome. It's a whole lot easier, right? So let's do number 1 together. Let's look at it. You have some examples, but let's continue looking at it together. Here we go. If I look at this, how many inequalities do you see? 2. It has 2 inequality symbols, doesn't it? So there's actually 2 inequalities here. So how many inequalities am I going to have to solve on this one? Not a trick question, promise. 2. There's 2. I'm like, I swear, it's not a trick question. You always say that. So look, here's 1. See that one? And here's 1. See that one? There's 2. Okay? They just combine them because it's an and, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I need to do is solve this equation. Remember, to solve an equation, you do the opposite of the order of operations. So if I were to plug a number in for x, according to the order of operations, what would I do to it first? If I were to, I heard it. What? Multiply. Multiply by what? Multiply by 3. And after I multiply this x by 3, what would I do to it then? Multiply it by 3, and then I would then subtract 5. If you order from the cafe, head to the back and get your order. So multiply it by 3, then subtract that 5. We're going to do the complete opposite. And the complete opposite of that would be 2. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. In this class, what do we call the opposite? Inverse. Exactly right. We call it the inverse. So we're doing the inverse operation. What is the inverse of multiplication? Division. So we're going to divide by 3. Okay, here we go. So we're going to add 5. What I do to 1, I have to do in all 3 places because I have 2 inequalities. If you didn't get this, where should you be typing right now? Class discussion, learning gap. You should say, I'm going to add, oops, I put 3. Why did I put 3? Add 5 to all 3. Add 3 on the mind.
I have a question.
Yep.
For number 2.
Let's go to number 1 first, okay? Hold on, hold that question. So we're adding 5 to all 3. What is negative 8 plus 5? Negative 3. What is negative 5 plus 5? 0. What is 13 plus 5? There we go. So we got negative 3 is less than 3x is less than or equal to 18. Do we have x all by itself?
No.
No. What's with the x still? 3. And we said to get rid of that 3, we were going to do what? Divide. You're right. We're going to divide. So I'm going to divide all 3 of these by 3. What is negative 3 divided by 3? Negative 3 divided by 3 is 3 over 3 is 1. So negative 1. X, 18 divided by 3 is 6. Now, here's the thing. I know because of our inequalities activity we did on Edge Elastic, it's not that you don't know how to graph them, it's that we are having trouble solving them like this. So here's what my expectation for the rest of this part of the bell ringer is. I expect you to answer in 2 to 3 sentences how to graph this. As I said, I should see something about open circles and closed circles, and I should also see something about shading. Okay? So open, closed circles, and shading. So before you submit this, you need to write your 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, you all killed number 2. Like, demolished it. Awesome job. The only thing I need to tell you is make sure you absolutely list them from what to what? Least to greatest, okay? That was the issue. We didn't list them from least to greatest as I was walking around. I like that. What was your question?
Do you have to, if there's,
You do not. Very good. All right, here we go. Number 1. Who says, hey, I've got the domain? And I knew there were several when I said, hey, you got it. You're good. Domain. Number 1. Don't be shy. It's okay. Thank you, Alexa. What do you got?
for the, it's -3,
Okay.
2,
Okay.
-7.
-7. Okay. She's right. But the only thing, we need to put it in, yeah, she's like, man, I messed it up. I got to flip that. So it should go -7 first, -7, -3, 5, and 2. Good job.
You would have do.
I knew you did. -7, -3, 2, and 5. So domain, in order from least to greatest. And I know several people got this one as I was walking around. Okay, domain is X, range is Y. So we're going to list our Y values now. So, range. And number 1, what is our Y values from least to greatest? Thank you. I knew you knew. So I was like, oh, what's me over? What you got?
-9,
-9,
-7,
-7, -6,
-3,
-3, 7. Agree, disagree? Awesome. Good job. Thank you all. Thank you ladies very much for volunteering. I really appreciate it. You're like, man. All right. So we did number 1 together. Once again, I'm going to ask that you do number 2. Okay? So on your bell ringer, you had to tell me your 2 to 3 sentences on how to graph, and you need to fix number 2 if you need to do that. Before you submit this, do not submit it now because we do have an exit slip today. Any questions on the bell ringer? For now, close your Chromebooks, please. Close your Chromebooks. You'll get it here in a second. No, no. Close your Chromebooks for now, please. And eyes up here. I don't know about you all, but I am super excited to be in Unit 2. Yeah. Do what? You're tired? Hey, I'm glad to be out of Unit 1 and in Unit 2. I know we started it yesterday, but it's still awesome to be out of Unit 1.
We should
All right.
celebrate this moment now.
Is that right? Jasmine.
Why are you excited?
Because it's something different, something fresh, something new.
And are you saying like it's easier?
Never.
Yeah. Personal preference, maybe. Some people find it easier than Unit 1. Some people find it harder. I don't know. Personal preference.
Cleveland.
All right, here we go. So our goal for today is the same goal that we had yesterday. We are still working with how do I represent relations as ordered pairs, tables, graphs, and mappings and identify their domains and ranges. Yesterday we talked about ordered pairs, mappings, and tables. We started on graphs that we really didn't get where we need to go. So our goal today is to work with those graphs. Once we can answer this essential question that we will finish today and have an exit slip with, we will start the essential question eyeballs. Hey, hi, hi, right here. Turn around. I see eyeballs. Right here, we will go to how do I use the definition of a function to justify whether a relation is a function and apply the vertical line test. We may start this today depending on how fast we go today. And then, if not, we'll get there tomorrow along with how do I evaluate functions and functions notation. And Thursday, how do I graph and classify discrete and continuous graphs. Once we are able to answer all of these essential questions and have all of these goals accomplished, we will roadmap to the skill of I can determine whether a relation is a function. Having that, once we're there, guess what comes next? More fun with a celebration, aka quiz. Yeah. We're going to celebrate what we know. All right, here's what I need from you. I need you to get out your notebooks, which you should already have out because that was on the list this morning. You need your notebooks, and I need you to please get out the handouts from yesterday. I have extra copies. I will be walking around. I need you from the front page to cut these 3 graphs out. As I said, I will be walking around in case you don't have them. You need to cut these 3 graphs out of the front page. We cut out the heart already. And then cutting these 3 graphs off of the front page, please. You should have scissors in your groups that you can share. Organize some. Okay.
Okay, can I just say she doesn't make cutting this? You don't make it.
Sorry.
We literally skip over one.
I did skip over one.
Why did you
Just cut the whole row. Oh, cut the whole row. Yeah, just cut the whole row. Yeah, cut the whole row out. Justin, you're right. That's for calculus.
Okay, I have a question. Are we the only ones in here to attend like any of the math lessons except period 1? No one said unit 1.
Oh, in my classes? Yes, in my classes. We're testing today. We'll be in unit 2 tomorrow.
At least you're not like this.
Sorry, no, I'm not.
6 ladies.
Be right there.
I remember I got yelled at. Remember when I got yelled at?
So you used to go to like
The only thing that I should have he's my neighbor.
Oh, she's great. You don't have to deal with me calling me that.
You've seen, I know. You looked at me like, it's called.
I just watched Rick.
Cutting these 3 out quickly and quietly. Quickly and quietly cutting these 3 out. Quickly and quietly.
I'll wait till it happens.
Okay, but okay, 20 seconds.
What?
20 seconds. Get them done.
Not enough time.
I just.
Why not?
Yeah, because she looked away.
5 seconds. I said, you.
They're on the board.
5 seconds ago.
You need to borrow my glasses?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. I want to remind us where we have been. So yesterday we talked about domain and range right here of ordered pairs, tables, and mappings. And we started with graphs. And we started with the, anybody remember? We started with the heart, you're right. And we put our heart inside. We didn't glue it in. Some of us might have accidentally glued it in. We don't glue these in. So just a heads up, don't glue them in. We might have accidentally done it. And to do the domain, do we use the top and the bottom, or do we use the right and the left? The right and the left is the domain, and the top and the bottom helps us find the range. So what we did was take the sides and scooch them in and say, all right, this goes from 1 to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this goes from 1 to 7. So we flipped it over on the back, and we said that this went from 1 to 7. And then we did our range, and we said it went from 0 to 4. We used our top and bottom. Notice, what type of notation is this? What type of notation did we just use? Math. Looks a lot like number 1 on our bell ringer, which was a inequality. So we're using inequalities. We're using compound inequalities here. Notice they're an and. So it's everything in between those numbers. So we're using every number in between those numbers. Thank you. All right. So the next one I want you to find is this line right here. Find the line. Put it in here for now.
Okay, the line.
Find that line.
I'm not. Glue it in. Glue it in.
Glue it in, Jack. Glue it in. I was special.
No idea.
Okay, so find the line. Here we go. What do these arrows mean?
Directions.
That they go on forever. Directions. So it shows the direction. Look at you all tag teaming there. It shows the direction and that they go on forever. So it never stops. It's never ending. It never ends. Kind of like this class, huh? Alright, so if I were to find the domain, can I limit the domain on this? Can I limit what x values I am using on this?
No.
No, I can't. I'm going to use every single number in the Unit 1. We talked about a number system. The real number system, didn't we? Hey, look at these connections. We're taking Unit 1 and connecting it to Unit 2.
Wild. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh! And when we get to Unit 3, there will be connections between Unit 1 and 2. You're exactly right. So on the back, the domain, we said that we use every single number on that real number system. So number, it's all real numbers. You're exactly right. So I use every single real number for the domain because it keeps on going forever and ever and ever and ever. And ever. Forever, ever? Forever? What do you think about the range? What do you think the range is going to do? All real numbers. Why? Why? Why do you think it's all real numbers? Victoria says, hey, see if you agree. If X is all real numbers, then Y has to be all real numbers as well.
Yeah.
Is that every graph that you can think of? If X is all real numbers, Nick says no. He's like, I don't know. So you're shaking your head no. If X is all real numbers, then every graph has to have the range is all real numbers as well.
Yes.
If it's a line, I agree. What if I had a graph like this? Look at this one, real quick. Eyeballs, right here. Eyeballs, right here. I agree. This one has X as all real numbers, but is it using every Y value?
No.
Okay, so I just found a counterexample. Okay, but when it is linear, like our example was, since the X is all real numbers and it is linear, what's linear mean? Straight what? Line, okay? Straight line. Since it is linear and makes that straight line, I know that I'm using every X value, but I'm also using every Y value because it forms a line. So flip it over. Domain is also all real numbers.
Domain?
Domain and range, my bad. Range. Range is also all real numbers because it is linear, aka line. Okay, we have done 3 together. Huh.
What's the third one?
We did one yesterday. We did the hard yesterday.
Yeah, that makes 2.
Oh, my bad.
Math teacher, math.
I'm not using our real numbers right now. These 2, my bad. These 2, where are we putting these 2? We're going to put them in the envelope. My bad. I talked about a third, but we didn't do it. Okay? I want you to find this one. My bad. I'm sorry. I thought we did this one already. Human, guys. Human. I'm human. I make mistakes.
It's human, that's human.
I said human. My accent must have gotten it. Here we go. Are these dots connected? No. So am I using the values in between these dots? No, I'm only using the values that these dots are actually on. So what X value, X, range or domain? Domain, D-M-X, right? Domain is X. Remember my rapper joke? What X value are we using on this? What X value do we use? What X value? Negative what? Negative 2. Okay, so our domain is negative 2. Let's flip it over. Our domain is negative 2.
How do you get negative 2?
Look at what X value it is using. What X value does every dot use? Negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. Okay? Now, range. Range is your what values? Y. Okay? What is the smallest Y value that we're using? Negative what?
4?
Negative 4, I agree. Negative 4 is the smallest Y value that we're using. What's the next smallest Y value we're using? Negative 3. What's the next smallest?
Negative 2.
What's the next smallest?
Negative 1.
What's the next smallest?
0.
What's the next smallest?
1.
What's the next smallest?
There is no 4.
Okay, didn't get you. I got first period on that one. All right, flip it over.
At least they're paying attention.
At least I'm paying attention. Negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1. Because it is not continuous, hey, look, it's a preview of essential question number 4. We have to list the points. Kiki, what's up? Wiggle lines, braces? Yes. We have to use the braces because that's what's called set notation. When you're listing points, you use those. When you're listing a continuous amount, you use the the inequality. What did I just say? What I just said was super important. What did I just say? You have to use the squiggly lines, aka braces, when it is just what? When it's points. Okay? So when you have points like we did here, you have to use the braces. When you have a continuous graph, you are using inequalities. Electa.
No question. Why can't you use parentheses? What's the difference?
Okay, good question. The braces are what we call set notation. We are listing a set of points, so hence the braces. The parentheses are actually what we call interval notation. You use parentheses and brackets for a different notation. Now we've done 3, right?
Yes.
Now we've done 3. Okay.
One more.
Here's what I need from you. In your groups, there are 3 that I would like for you to do in your groups. They come from the front page. These 3, I will be walking around. Once I have seen that you can do these 3, I will release you to do your exit slip. I need everything down. Eyeballs right here for a second, because I know I'm going to have questions. Hands off. Eyes here. Here, let me reiterate. Here's what you're going to do. You are going to take these 3, work on them as a group. And when I talk about as a group, does that mean you do number 1, you do number 2, and you do number 3? We work collaboratively. We are a collaboration. We talk about them. We talk about the domain and range of each of them. And I should come to any group member and say, hey, how did you get this? And they should be able to tell me. Okay? So, working together on these 3, once I have seen that you can do these 3, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell you to do your exit slip. I should not see your Chromebooks open until I release you to do so. Any questions? Okay, get to work on these 3. I'll be around in just a minute.
So these are for here, right? They're on the board.
This one.
Sorry, I can say I was not. All right.
Because I have to run away.
By her reaction, I just enjoy their company more.
These 3 cut out.
Yes.
Working in your group, please. Getting those 3 cut out, working together, we're talking about getting those 3 cut out, getting focused. Getting those 3 cut out.
Are you legit saying I'm slow? I don't know how to do it.
How do you know that? Are you assuming?
Don't say that.
So which one are we working on? Okay, so put it in.
Again,
Put
don't
it
say
in
that.
here.
But I don't know which side's up and which side's down.
What?
Like, is this side up or is this side up?
I'm going to find the domain. Am I using the top and the bottom or the right and the left?
I'm supposed to go like this.
So let's see, what is the smallest x value that it uses?
Which one?
Does it really matter?
Yeah, it does matter.
That's upside down.
I live by 1.
How do you use that turn right?
-7 what is the largest that you use?
It's not that close.
Positive 6. So just like we heard on the other one, we're going to have -7 is less than or equal to x is, and then another less than or equal to 6. Because you're saying that x is in between negative 7 and 6. Do the same thing that we just did for your y value. What about this one? We'll come back here. Try that one first. Alright guys, which one? Okay, let's put it in your domain and range finder. Okay. This way.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So put them in, and we'll talk about it. Alright. Okay, so what is your smallest x value? No, it's not. Look again. What's your smallest x value? What's the smallest x value that it uses? X value. Give me just 1 second. X value.
-7.
Okay, I agree. -7. Next.
You're suspended.
I thought he had a little bit, it was like, oh, okay, they're
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so where were we? What's the smallest x value?
I don't understand what you got from.
-7, what's your largest x value? 6. There we go. So we're going to go from -7 to 6. -7 is less than or equal to.
There's 5 somewhere, I believe. Maybe.
Other way. No. X. Remember, it's a compound inequality. Compound inequality. X.
There might be 5.
Because we're talking about, we're using every value between -7 and 6.
Yeah.
Using every value. Let's get on task, please.
We're talking about the question and how we don't know what we're doing.
Well, I'll be there in just a second. Go to the next one. You had the domain 100%.
anxiety.
I never actually had that
Anyone in? Looking at your smallest x value, smallest. There you go. That's the one. Let's go and try that one. What's your smallest x value? Yeah, smallest x value. What's your largest x value? Use the examples that we did, guys. Have them out beside you.
They come back.
Put it in.
What I'm doing.
Okay, what x values are you using? Smallest x value.
I think it's like that question because it has no real
-1 and 5. Next step. -1 and 5. There you go. Alright guys, what are we doing? The triangle, which I see everybody in the triangle.
He doesn't have a
no.
That's fine. See everybody in the triangle. Alright. So putting in the triangle, looking at what's the smallest x value it uses.
I think that would be -7. 0 to -7.
-1. And what's the largest x value?
I think they're on largest x value. Go over 7, go up 7.
That's alright. No, you're not stupid.
Can you please come back? Come back, please.
5.
-1.
Alright, who's this?
From -1 to 5.
I died.
Right, it is that compound inequality like we did. Like we did the heart. How we doing, guys?
They're selling hot Cheetos.
Okay.
They're not selling
And the range?
cafeteria.
You use everywhere from here to here,
They were there this
So
morning.
from
5
0
cents.
to
I would have bought one, but I would have $5.
Good job, good job. Yes, yes.
No?
Yes.
You get a buck.
Yeah,
Okay, can you explain that to them? Thank you so much. She's got you. She's 100% got it. All right, guys, how we doing? What are we doing? Squiggly lines, okay? So tell me what you're thinking. It's -7. Huh? Okay, so -7 to 6 is your what? Okay, and your range is? Gavin. That's right. Yes. That is absolutely right.
Shut up, Michael. You wanna go?
Hey, guys, you are off task.
-7 to 6. Okay? Remember, we write it as an inequality because we're using every number in between here. Okay? When you're talking about using all the numbers, unless it's steady, just points. Okay? Now, that as well. Yes, yes.
It'll be a fight.
All right, guys, how we doing? I'll be there next. Awesome. Perfect. Let me see your domains.
Backing up.
Absolutely agree.
Whoa.
Absolutely agree.
You're like not showing anything.
Starts at 0. Okay. It doesn't come down here to C. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at range. You're absolutely right. Look at you correcting me. I love it. Give me 1 second. I'll be right there, okay? All right. So now, look at you. You all had one example of domain and you killed it. So don't say you don't know how to do it. 'Cause guess what? Here we go. Here we go. Range. Range is what values? Y. So I'm gonna look at my Y values. So start there, right? Which is that Y. Zero, and it goes up to,
I said that. I can read all your
so 0 to 3. Okay, you see it? So this is gonna go from 0 to 3. So go with Y values. This way, like this.
One is like 5.
I'm coming around again, guys. Give me just a second.
We're the ones asking.
Less than or equal to, you're exactly right. Use Y this time. Correct. Less than or equal to? 3.
He's like a guy.
You got it. There we go.
I got negative.
We have one.
We go from.
Okay, it's the back.
Wait, where?
3, 4, 5, -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So -5, 4. See? Because look here, those are smallest.
Okay, why doesn't it do that? Why doesn't it have? The X just goes straight across, but it doesn't go straight across. Sort of. This one does, but that one doesn't.
Right, it does. Because it's not always, you're looking here, heading off here, heading off here. You got it, you need to change it. So maybe you're going down here, right?
Wait, what did it mean?
Where'd you get it?
Yeah, she's negative 5.
Yeah, take the 5.
So, check that, you're welcome.
Okay, next one. This one.
And look right there.
Let's do this one.
Literally, I just said this.
This one?
Wait, just differently.
Here's this one.
Zero, not 12.
Alright guys, how you doing? Let's go back to the center. So, from here, so here would be our domain, right? So from -6 to 5. So, remember we write that.
I'm the only one.
Oh my.
So we're gonna go -7 to 6. So with domain, write it as
What happened to the 10?
this because we're not supposed to. Okay, since we're using every single value here,
Okay, so
all of these X values.
all are going on this camera.
7.
Probably.
They go to 6. range, which is smallest range,
No, we
and your highest range.
Like the highest, whatever.
Well, then
That's
you're doing
I
this girl.
think it's gonna be a 5.
I just feel like this.
Wait.
I'll wait. That's what I got. I'll wait.
What is the
I'll be right back.
What is the domain?
Highest, or smallest to highest on the range, smallest to
Phone
highest.
numbers and the other one be like.
Wow.
Okay.
He's gonna come back. He's gonna come
I think you're wrong. I'm getting it. Why? She's the smart one. I'm actually doing my work.
Maybe it'll have a.
Okay, so what exile are you doing? This is gonna keep on going out forever and ever. Ah, wait!
You could have a 5 there, maybe.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Sorry, guys.
Alright guys, how you doing?
Or 0.
That much.
It's either 4 or 0.
Which way are we doing it? We can do it that way. You all just decided. You all decided to do it. Let's make comments. Okay. We're gonna make the comments. Okay, so, looking at the graph. What is the smallest x value that we have?
Sorry. Weight loss.
Smallest x value. Negative 6.
Yeah.
I do have it right. But the largest up is the top number.
And do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close to Okay, so we're gonna go from negative 6.
I don't know.
We beat to 7.
Scissors suck.
So writing that in our inequality notation from negative 6 to 7, including all
It's always the job of what I wanted to do.
range, which is smallest y or largest y. Gavin, get on task, please. Be right there.
Okay. Now we gotta work on this one.
Yes.
You know what?
Range is from negative 4. It's negative 4 to infinity.
It's like a
Negative 4 to infinity because it keeps going forever up.
tree if you're 12 or under. Stupid, I'm still gonna do it. Right. Yeah, it was. It'd be a neighborhood 5.
I'm gonna be a genius and nobody can see my face.
And I'm Swedish.
Range from 0 to 3. Because you're just sorry, I need to hold it. All right, so what's your smallest? Negative 1. What's your largest? 5. So we're gonna go from negative 1 to 5, right? And use every value.
Because they buy rocks.
But I'm using 1, I'm using 2, I'm using 3, and 4. So I'm using every point. Yes. Yes. Oh, light bulbs. Love it. Range. Correct. 0 all the way up to. Yes. So you're going to go from 0 to 3. 0 is a number. 0 is a real number. But this is starting. Yeah, so it's starting at 0. Okay. Okay, so how did we do? You all my rock stars, like seriously, you all doubted yourself? You're rock stars. Put mine away. This one right here, we start all the way down here.
Her last name is this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go from -5 to 4. Okay, see that? Do what now?
I knew I had to apply that. I was straight.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's not upside down.
You can go. Whichever way you want to study. So see that? You all see what you did? Okay, so I want you to fix that one. I want you to okay. And you guys slip it down.
Yeah, but you didn't put this down.
That wasn't me. What did you do?
Okay, so you're telling me that I'm going to use everything, that's fine, that's completely great, but I'm going to use every single Y value, I'm going to use every single value. You are in Instructional. Where does it start? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Just going to go -4 to infinity. That means right there. All right. Handle with it.
Okay, so
You guys just got rid of
stop it.
-5 to 1, 2, 3. But yes, absolutely agree. 100% yes, you got it.
It's not in -5.
Whoa.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start to -5. Don't try to go all the way up to
Obvious.
I work. All right, stop there.
You're Spanish.
Yeah, I was Spanish.
Oh, you're Spanish.
I know it's not.
Your bed.
Here we go. I have 2 groups on exit slips. Let's get there.
Okay, -5. 1.
The only thing I would say here is watch your notation.
Should we put
okay?
the X
Make
there
sure we're
first?
using that inequality notation. So
Yeah, I did, that's fine.
-7 plus x less than equals 6.
Okay, now the range? Isn't that?
I group your numbers, but make sure you use the correct numbers. Okay? Alright, go on to your exercise. Okay, good job. Thank you very much. Where's it start? Where's it start? You're telling me I'm using all this? Am I using all this? No, where's the start? You're like, no! I agree, 100%.
Just negative.
Correct.
Do we put brackets around it?
Correct. You're exactly
Not
right.
if it's all real numbers, don't mind me like.
Where's it start? Well, there's, yeah, it's gonna start someplace. Where's it gonna start?
Are we good? We're done.
Sure.
Okay, let's go.
-4. So -4 to infinity. So using your -4 to infinity. Using your inequality notation, so -4 plus -5. Go on to your exit slip. Because infinity is going to keep on going forever and ever and ever. It's going to keep on going up to
Well,
infinity.
there's a difference.
Because infinity is a place and not a number.
And be upside.
Most groups are on their exit slip. Head in there.
Head to your exit slip, please. You all got this.
Yeah, but not all people speak.
Head to your exit slip, guys.
And I know BSL. And I know ASL and I know BSL. I don't know, SSL.
3, 2, 1. I want to review exit slip expectations because I have everyone there now. So let's review exit slip expectations. If you would please bring your Chromebooks up and head down to the exit slip. Chromebooks up, heading down to the exit slip. I want to review our expectations on this.
You know you can go up to.
I know. So right here, number 4. Here's your expectations on your exit slip. You are going to, for each of these, you have a set of ordered pairs and you have a graph. You are going to state the domain and range of both of them. Then, you are going to answer the essential question. Remember, our essential question of focus for the day is, how do I represent relations as ordered pairs, tables, graphs, and mappings, and identify their domains and ranges? I should see complete sentences here. No typing yet. Answering these two, answering this essential question, and then you are rating yourself. Are you a level 4? You are very, very confident about this, and you can teach someone how to do it. Are you a 3? You can do it on your own, and you can show you can understand. Are you a 2? You can do this with help, or if you have an example, or 1, you're just starting, or a 0, you're completely clueless. Okay? So you are answering both of these, answering the EQ of focus, and rating yourself. Don't forget, you also need to finish your bell ringer as well. Any questions before you go to your exit slip? Don't forget to hit turn in. As you're doing that, I'm coming around with your homework assignments. Finish your exit slip, get started on the I do. We do, I did some, you did some, this is your you do. My bad. You only enjoyed it once. There's no way. No way. No way. Nope, get back up. I want to see your answers.
What's your grade?
Press some bubbles.
I was all over you. I did, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Are you thrilled?
No, it's like you cut the amount of hair that's on the head. No, it's one.
Get your exit slip. Exit slip needs to be turned in before you leave here, guys. And get started on your homework assignments. Exit slip needs to be turned in before you leave, though.
You never gave us out.
Sorry. See?
See?
Michael, good student right there, right? I'll get it, thank you.
He actually made these orders, so I was just because it's just one.
Thank you. I apologize for missing it.
Because you refresh your eyes when you wink.
You will have a bite of
Here's Joe packing up. Thank you very much. No packing up. You should be working on your homework.
So now it's leaving.
Yes, you are leaving now.
I have.
Toby, I've known you for
Really heavy.
think I'm done using sixth grade, I was just learning. They said they pulled it back.
All right, focus. Exit slip before you leave. Working on the assignment. Yes, all of them.
I do too. They'll probably have some ball putty.
Homework out.
What what I talked about, you know what, I think it is.
What is the poop? Tell me.
Nope, you need it. Get it up. Because we've got time right now to work on it. Using our time wisely. Look, they already have 3 of them done over here. You can get them done.
That's because they're better.
Oh, they are not. They're just as good. You are equals.
No.
Equals, what do you mean equals?
I'm not equal to anybody.
Okay, look at my grades.
Actually,
It's because I bet I have a bad grade.
Focus, please.
I'm surprised you know my name. Most people don't know my name, but they search what's your name.
Thank you very much. Make sure you turn in that exit slip. Don't forget your homework. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.